Good afternoon, all. Today morning we started with unit number 6, probability and linear algebra. So morning we started with probability part, and now in this particular session we will see laws of probability with examples. Okay, so one important instruction I will give you at the beginning. In order to define several laws of probability or concept, generally we will be taking two events, namely event A and event B. Okay, so whenever we say A and B, we generally call it as a event A and event B. Okay, suppose there are two events, event A and event B, and if we want to find out the probability that event A or event B, then we must first determine whether the events are mutually exclusive or non-mutually exclusive. That first of all we need to identify, and then we need to calculate the probability of occurrence of event A or event B. Okay, so this particular part is very important, and in this particular session, we will be discussing with the set. Okay, so whenever two events A and B, when they are mutually exclusive, then it is called as case 1. So when they are called as mutually exclusive, for example, consider a state space, let's say universe U, and consider there are two events, let's say A, and another event, let's say event B. Okay, so these are the two events. Some common space or overlapping between these two events. So in right bottom figure, I'm showing here, let's say event A and let's say event B. So here when we talk about event A and event B, then there is some common overlapping surface, right? So if this is the case, then it is called as non-mutually exclusive events. And that part we need to understand, and we need to decide whether to include or exclude that common part while calculating the probability of event A or B. So this is important part that we need to understand before calculating the probability. Okay, so we will start with mutually exclusive event. So when two events A and B are mutually exclusive, the probability that A or B will occur is the sum of probability of each event. So probability of A or B, or this particular notation is called as union. So probability of A union B is nothing but probability of A plus probability of B. This is the simple case and applicable for mutually exclusive event. And in this case, we already discussed that there is no overlapping area. So whatever probability you will be getting, that will be the correct answer. Now, when there is a overlapping between the two events, then this is the case for non-mutually exclusive case, and it is also called as law of total probability, where when we consider two events A and B, and if they are non-mutually exclusive, it means both will have some common overlapping surface or area. And in this case, when we want to calculate the probability of A or B, that is probability of A union B, then it is calculated as probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. So why that intersection is there? So as I mentioned, when there are two events, let's say A and let's say B, then the probability of event A means the area which is covered by event A, and probability of event B means the area which is covered by event B. But when we add these two, then in both cases a common overlapping area will come, and we know that that should not be there. So this common area must be subtracted, and that's why you will see one additional term, probability of A intersection B. So in case of mutually exclusive, there was no overlapping surface. This is area A and this is another area B. So in case of mutually exclusive event, there was no overlapping surface. So we can directly sum probability of A and probability of B. But in case of law of total probability or non-mutually exclusive events, we need to subtract the overlapping surface area, that is probability of A intersection B, from the sum of probability of event A and event B. So this particular understanding is essential. Or in simple words, you can see in case of union event or mutually exclusive event, event A and event B have two different regions. There is no overlapping. So this is the case of mutually exclusive events. And in case of non-mutually exclusive events, you can see there is some overlapping area, and that particular overlapping area is nothing but the event A and B or A intersection B, and that must be deducted from the sum of probability of event A plus probability of event B. Okay, so we will take some examples and we will try to understand when which case is applicable. Okay, so let's say event A and B, which are mutually exclusive, means there is no overlapping area. Then probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B. And these are the way how we call the events. A union B means probability that either A or B occur alone or that both occurs together. And PA means probability that event A occurs, and PB means probability that B occurs. So these are the way to call the units. Now we will take example. A single-sided die is rolled. So we know that when we consider a die, it is a cubic. So there are 6 surfaces, and on each surface numbers are given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And it is rolled. So outcome when we roll a die, the outcome will be either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, 5 or 6. So one of the outcome will be there. Then the question is, what is the probability of rolling 2 or a 5? So we know that there are 6 surfaces numbered with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total outcome will be 6. And we are interested in what is the probability of getting 2. So there is only one surface where 2 is there. So 1 is the favorable outcome divided by total outcome 6. So probability of getting 2 is 1 by 6. Similarly, we are also interested in the probability of occurrence of 5. So probability of occurrence of 5 is equal to the favorable event, that is 5, and there is only one surface where 1 is there, 5 is there, and total outcome will be 6. So we can say that probability of occurrence of 5 is equal to 1 by 6. Now when we look at the question is something different, and we are interested in probability of rolling a 2 or 5. This or is very important. So that joint probability we have to calculate. Here we calculate probability of getting 2 and probability of getting 5. That individual probability we calculated, but we are calculate the union of these two. That is probability of 2 union 5. So probability of 2 is 1 by 6 and probability of getting 5 is 1 by 6. And when we simplified it, the answer is 1 by 3. So there is a 1/3 chance that the rolled dice will have outcome of either 2 or 5. And here, why we are calling this example as a mutually exclusive event? Because when we roll a dice, we will get either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. There is no chance that at a time we will get 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 or 2 and 5. There is no overlapping chances, because when the die will settle down on the ground, there will be only one possible outcome. There is no overlapping cases. So that's why this is the case of mutually exclusive events. So once again, I will tell you the probability of getting 2 is 1 by 6. Probability of getting 5 is 1 by 6. And we are interested in 2 or 5. If we get outcome as 2, we are fine. If we get outcome as 5, we are fine. So probability of 2 union 5 is 1 plus 6 and 1 plus 6. That is probability of getting 2 and plus probability of getting 5. And answer is 1 by 3. Let's take another example. A coin is tossed. What is the probability of result is a head or a tail? So we know that the coin has two faces. One face there is a head and other face there is a tail. And here we are interested in probability where or event is there. So first of all, we will calculate probability of getting head. So when we toss a coin, we will get outcome as either head or tail. So head plus tail means total outcome will be 2, and we are interested in head. So the favorable event is 1. So probability of getting head is 1 by 2. Similarly, probability of getting tail is also 1 by 2. And we are interested in joint probability of getting either head or a tail. So probability of head union tail is equal to probability of getting head plus probability of getting tail, and the answer is 1. So we know that the coin has only two surfaces, head and tail. So the total probability will become 1. Here in previous example, there are 6 faces and we are interested in 2 faces where 2 is there or 5 is there. And that's why we are getting the outcome as 2 by 6 or 1 by 3, because we are interested in 2 events out of 6. Now we will take second case where events A and B are non-mutually exclusive. Non-mutually exclusive, I already told you that in this case there is some overlapping area for event A and event B. So this is event A, this is event B, and here you can see that there is some common overlapping area, and that must be excluded while calculating the total probability. And this example now we will see. So this formula we already discussed. Probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of getting B minus probability of A intersection B. And these are the way to call the notations. And we will take example, a deck of 52 cards. So a deck, we know that in a deck there are always 52 cards. So total probability or total outcome will be 52, and it contains 3 jacks, 3 queens, and 3 kings. So it is particularly mentioned. And what you have to do, you have to calculate the probability of drawing either a king or a queen from a full deck. So here you can see the outcome should be a king or a queen. That or is very important. Or represents the union symbol. Okay. And when we read this particular problem, we can easily understand this is the non-mutually exclusive event, because there are 3 queens and there are 3 kings. So there is a chance of overlapping. So when you draw a card, it may be either a king or a queen. So that overlapping part may be there. So this is the case of non-mutually exclusive event. So how to solve it? So we are interested in probability of getting king or a queen, that is king union queen, which is equal to probability of getting king plus probability of getting queen minus probability of getting king and queen. So how many kings are there? 3 kings are there in a deck of 52 cards. So 3 divided by 52 is the probability of getting king. Similarly, in the deck of 52 cards, how many queens are there? There are 3 queens and total cards are 52. So probability of getting queen is 3 divided by 52. And probability of king intersection queen, that is there are 3 king and 3 queens, so 6 number of cards which will have queen and king, and total number of cards are 52. So this king intersection queen will be 6 divided by 52. And this part, there is a mistake. So in this particular example, I will explain once again. There are 3 kings out of 52 cards. So probability of getting king is 3 by 52. There are 3 queens in the deck out of 52 cards. So probability of getting queen is 3 by 52. And what about the joint probability? When we talk about the joint probability, we can say that when we draw a card and we are drawing only one card, so it will be either a queen or a king or any other card. So it is not possible that a same card or a single card will have both king and queen. So this joint probability will be 0. This joint probability will be 0. So that's why we are writing joint probability, that is A intersection B, as 0. And when we simplify this example, we will get outcome as 0.115. That is the probability that the card will have either a king or a queen. We will take one more example. A bag contains 20 balls, so total outcome will be 20, out of which 3 balls are of red color, 6 are of green color, 4 are colored blue, 2 are colored white, and 5 are colored yellow. So out of 20, there are 5 different colored balls are there. Now what you need to do, you need to draw one ball at random basis. So in that bag 20 balls will be there, and randomly you need to pick one ball and find the probability of following events. So different questions will be there and you need to answer the same. So when we look at this example, so total outcome will be 20. and individual cards are also there, balls are also there, so that probability we will try to calculate. So first question is, when we draw a ball randomly, what is the probability that the ball is either red or green? So that joint probability we have to find out. And when we look at this question, we are going to draw a single ball, and as there is a single ball, so it will be either green or red. There will not be a ball having both colors. So this is the case of mutually exclusive events. So you can see here probability of getting a red or green, so which is equal to probability of getting red plus probability of getting green. And how we can calculate probability of getting red? So we know that there are 3 red colored ball and total outcome will be 20, so 3 by 20. Similarly, there are 6 green colored balls. So probability of getting green ball is 6 by 20. And upon simplification, you will get 9 by 20. So what we can conclude? There is a 9 by 20 chance that the randomly picked ball will have either a red color or green color. Next question is, what is the probability of getting ball which is not blue? So in the problem you can see that there are 4 balls having blue color. Okay, and if we draw a ball randomly, what is the probability that the color will not be blue? So the answer is probability of getting a ball which is not having blue color, so which is equal to 1 minus probability of getting blue. So probability of getting blue is 4 by 20 because there are 4 balls having blue color and total number of balls are 20. So 4 by 20 is the probability of getting a blue colored ball. And if we deduct that from 1, we will get the probability that the ball is not blue. And the answer is 4 by 5. Next question is, if we draw a ball randomly from a bag of 20 balls, what is the probability that ball is either red or white or blue? So we know that there are 3 red colored balls, then 2 white colored balls, and how many blue are there? 4 blue balls are there. So 3 plus 4 plus 2. Then you can see that probability of getting either red or white or blue ball is equal to probability of getting red, which is 3 by 20, plus probability of getting white colored balls, its probability is 2 by 20, and probability of getting blue colored ball, its probability is 4 by 20. So 3 by 20 plus 2 by 20 plus 4 by 20, the answer is 9 by 20. So we can say that if we draw a ball randomly, then there is 9 by 20% chance that it will be either red or white or a blue. We will take one more example, and this is a typical example of non-mutually exclusive events. A single card is chosen at random from a standard deck of 52 playing cards. So we know that a deck consists of 52 cards. What is the probability of choosing a king or a club? Okay, so in previous 2 examples of total law of probability, what we observed, the joint probability or the common area was not there, or the overlapping area was not there. So what we assume, the probability, the overlapping area is equal to 0. That we assume. But in this particular example, when you look at the problem carefully, then what you can say that a club consists of 13 cards, out of which there will be a one king. What I am saying, there are total 52 cards and you have to draw only one card. And in that card, what is the question? What is the probability of choosing a king or a club? But the club consists of 13 cards, out of which one is a king. So there is a overlapping area. So for example, consider this is the total space which consists of 52 cards, right? Now, in that 52 cards, how many kings will be there? 4, right? And how many club cards will be there? The club's card will be 13. And this is the overlapping area. And what this means, the club will have one king, and we know that there are 4 kings, out of which one is a club. So there will be one card which is of king, which is falling in this particular region, let's say A, or in this region, let's say B. So that is a overlapping area, and that must be excluded. And here that overlapping area will not be 0, it will have some value. So that's why I'm saying this is a typical example. Now we will go ahead. So probability of getting king or club, and that's why you can see probability of king union club, which is equal to probability of getting king plus probability of getting club minus probability of getting king and club, that is overlapping area. Okay, so once again we will start. So this is the total region where there will be 52 cards. Now when I say probability of getting king, means there is an area where there will be 4 kings. So 4 divided by 52 is the probability of getting king. Now when I say probability of getting club, so how many club cards will be there? 13. So probability of getting club is 13 divided by 52. 13 club cards divided by total number of cards. So this is the probability of getting a club card minus the overlapping area here. You can see carefully, and that in you can see in the figure. What I will do, I will change the color to show the overlapping area. Yeah, here you can see this is the overlapping area where there is a king, which may be a club, which is a club basically. So how many such cards will be there? Only one. And that's why the overlapping area is 1 divided by 52, because there is a king which is a club card, and that is a overlapping. So when you take the sum of all these 3 probabilities and simplify, upon simplification you will get answer as 4 by 13. And that's why I'm saying this is the typical example of non-mutually exclusive events, because in this case there is a overlapping area, and we graphically also understood how to solve such type of problem. We will take one more example. In a math class of 30 students, so in this particular example, total number of students are 30, 30. So let's say this is the space for this example, out of which 17 are boys and 13 are girls. On a unit test, 4 boys and 5 girls made A grade. If a student is chosen at random from the class, what is the probability of choosing a girl or an A grade student? So see, this is very tricky question. There are 17 boys as well as 13 girls, and for a given unit test, 4 boys and 5 girls made A grade. So boys also made A grade, girls also made A grade. And you need to select a student at a random from that class. And you have to find out the probability of choosing a girl or A grade student. So how many girls are there in the class? There are 13 girls in the class. So probability of getting girls is 13 by 30. And at the same time, how many girls are there who received A grade? So 5. So there are 5 girls who received A grade, and this is the overlapping area. So for a given class, we can say that there are 13 girls and there are 5 girls who received A grade. So that part is also there. But at the same time, there are 4 boys who also received A grade. So this is another area which represents 4 boys who received A grade. So such type of complexity you will observe here, and accordingly you have to simplify. So probability of getting a student who is girl and with A grade. So that's why P, probability of girl union A grade, which is equal to probability of, what is the probability of the student is a girl? So this is the case. So the answer we can say that it is 13 by 30. So there are 13 girls in the class of 30 students. So 13 divided by 30 is the probability that the randomly picked student is a girl. Second thing is that what is the probability that the student is of A grade? So there are 4 plus 9 students who received A grade. So 4 plus 5, 9. So 9 by 30 is the probability that randomly picked student is having A grade minus the overlapping area. And in this case, the overlapping area is the randomly picked student is a girl and who received A grade. So this is the case. So 5 by 30. There are 5 girl students who received A grade divided by total outcome 30. So 5 by 30. So when you simplify this, you will get answer as 17 by 30. So what this answer indicates, there is a 17 by 30 chance that a randomly picked student from the class who is a girl and who also received A grade. So this is how we can interpret this particular example. Then we will go ahead and we will see multiplication law of probability, or it is also called as law of compound or joint probability. So whenever you want to take multiplication probability that A and B both occurs, then we can use this particular equation or this particular law that probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of occurrence of event A plus probability of occurrence of event B given that A has already occurred. The same thing can be expressed as probability of occurrence of event B multiplied by probability of occurrence of event A given that the event B has already occurred. Here you can see that. How to call this? Probability of occurrence of event B given that A has already occurred. Similarly to this, probability of occurrence of event A given that B has already occurred. Now, in this particular case, if either probability of A or probability of B is 0, then probability of A union B is also 0. So that we need, A intersection B is also 0, that we need to understand. Let's take one example. For example, a bag contains 4 green socks, 2 blue socks and 5 red socks. 2 socks are removed. So that bag consists of 4 plus 2 plus 5. So 9, 11 socks are there total. And we have to remove 2 socks randomly. Then what is the probability that first sock is red and second is green? So we need to understand this problem very carefully. So total socks are 11, out of which how many socks you have to remove? 2. So you will not remove both socks simultaneously. Here, first of all, you will remove first socks and then you will remove second sock. This is how the problem is defined. And what you have to calculate? You have to calculate the probability that the first sock is red. So in the bag of 11 socks, when you remove the first sock, then first probability it will be a red color. Then when you remove the second sock, what is the probability that it will have a green color? So we will go to the solution. So here one after another you have to remove the sock. So first of all you will remove a sock and you will check the probability that the first sock will have a red color. First sock will have a red color. So first part of the answer is here. So how will you calculate this? There are total 5 red socks and total socks are 11. So probability of getting a red sock is 5 by 11. Now when you draw first sock, next time you will draw second sock. Now next time how many sock will be there? Because you already removed one, so total sock now will be 10. And we are interested in probability that it will be have a green color. So how many green color sock are there? There are 4 socks having a green color, and therefore you have to take here 4 by 10. And how will you call it? As a probability of getting green color sock given that the first sock is of red color. This is how you call it. And when you simplify this, you will get answer as 0.182. Once again I will repeat, probability of getting first sock as a red colored sock is 5 by 11 because there are 5 red sock and total sock are 10. In second case, you are going to draw another sock and the probability of having the green color sock given that the first sock has red color. So there are 4 green sock divided by, now in second case the total number of available sock are 10 because we already drawn one another sock. So 4 by 10 and the overall answer is 0.182. So how will you interpret this 0.182? There is a 0.182 probability that the first sock is red and second sock is green if we draw two sock one after another. So we will stop here. That's it from my side. If you have any additional question, if you have any question, the session is open for discussion.